Who's brand new? Who's never been here before? Woo! How many of you know that she was singing poorly intentionally?
No, I wish you wouldn't say that, because then when I do sing, they'll be like, whoa! And that sets me up for being better. Okay, next convention.
All right. I won't let the cat out of the bag next time. But it just makes me feel so bad that there's so many people in the room that are like, why is she singing? I don't know why.
Because it might deter them from actually coming to the concert tomorrow. You're right, you're right. Bye, Gil. Hi, Gil.
Bye, guys.
What the fuck is happening here?
Qu'est-ce qui se passe, bordel de merde?
I'll show you some goddamn language.
Je vais vous montrer du langage de merde.
You're a pack of perverts. That's not what I meant.
Vous êtes des gros pervers.
Why are people so spread out? Is because the tickets, like you have a ticket, you have a seat. You're straight up just like, I don't want to be next to anybody. Respect. Respect, bro.
Look at this. It's like they've got a mosh pit set up. Is that what this is?
I support that. I support that.
Is this our
I would love if people started moshing to our panel. It is cold in here. My little nips. Okay. Stop it. You have been drinking already. Well, this whole setup is making me rowdy. It makes me feel like I gotta like run through it or do like some t-shirt guns or something.
It's very, like, it's been a long time.
I don't have a t-shirt gun. Don't get excited.
I like the fact that that's your impulse. My impulse is like, hi, my name is Kim Rhotes. For my first piece, I'll be doing Viola from 12th Night, and for my second, it is something that I've actually written for myself, but it's okay.
But isn't it funny, because at the conventions, they're always set up like a ballroom where it's just like stage and then seats. But this is this theater, so we should feel more at home here, but instead we're like, I feel like I need to perform.
This is so
for you.
weird.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's also because I turn sideways and I have that deep actor feeling that I don't know if you ever got, but I certainly would get in theater, where you'd be like, and now my blood, sweat, tears, and soul for no one, hi. Okay, there's one person in the back that's like,
you gotta perform for everyone, yes. Don't turn your back on anyone.
I love Chekhov.
Have you ever performed in the round? Is that what it's called, theater in the round? Where it's like a jut stage?
No, that's 3/4. Round is all the way around.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
3/4 is 3/4, and round is all round. Why was that funny?
They were just ready to laugh.
Was it my voice? Is it just because I've already hit notes that only dogs can hear? Angry Water.
I mean, never. Yeah, that's right, Suzanne.
Name of my new band. Angry
She's like,
Water.
oh man, I paid for the front row and I'm gonna get ballowed in the face.
You look so good! Oh my God, you look so good!
Thank you.
All right.
I see one question over here.
Did
you want to ask it, or you changed your mind?
Is that right? Amanda. There we go. No, Tim said that he was a fan of his shirt.
Let me see it.
Wait, that's a different shirt. That's not the shirt that we...
Be gay,
what does it say?
do crime, love Amundsen. Yeah,
yes,
I support
that
all of
too.
them.
All of
Do
those are good
crime.
things.
I mean, I have some caveats to that one, and that is suck it. Also, I support that, so. Not literally.
Suck it apples, not suck apples.
Suck
Suck it.
I know.
Yes.
Ew.
The little...
Hey, go ahead, Amanda. What would you like to know?
Right on the nose. Oh, yeah, and here's the thing. Before you talk, shut up. We will go on if you don't answer questions.
I'm happy
or ask questions, and we will, within 3 minutes, be talking about our periods.
I'm in the renewal phase right now.
Right? Get up here and ask some questions, or you're going to hear about, and I haven't had a uterus for 15 years. So we're going to have to be way back. All right, what's your question, darling?
Hi.
So, Kim, first of all, I'm so sorry I missed your meet and greet. They scheduled you against Tim.
Oh no, understandable. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
And you mentioned on, I think it was TikTok, that you would no longer be doing interviews unless you're being interviewed by a goat.
Hey!
I do have a question.
I will do questions if you're not a goat, but I think official interviews from here on out need to only be done by goats. Yes.
By the way, the goat needs a name, so I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Clive.
His name's Clive. Okay.
You're welcome.
So my question is like more of a slight. We just found out that Rachel Miner is coming back.
I just saw that. Yes, announce it for the group. Yes.
Yes, she is coming back for conventions. I don't know when, but she's going to be doing it virtually, and we just found out this morning. So Kim, I know I keep asking this, but I need a Rachel story, please.
Okay. So I thought about this, and I couldn't believe that this wasn't the story that I was leading with. But my Rachel Miner story is, so Rachel was on our podcast, and we got her, back when we recorded the podcast, do you know we have a podcast? What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, yes.
We have a live show this evening at 7 p.m. here.
It's here.
If you want to come, please do. It's often unhinged and we all end up crying. It's basically church. It's wonderful.
It's therapy. It's therapy. It's a love fest. It's not, yes. Anyway, so Rachel was in the closet with us. Yeah, no, that's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. Rachel was in the closet with us, and then Tabitha, my daughter, and I drove her back to the hotel where she was staying. So we drove back to the hotel and dropped her off, and then my car wouldn't start. My car was dead. And it was dead. It was dead. And my husband was not available. So we were like, what the fuck do we do? So I will, whoa, listen to that. That's a lot of caffeine. So I will fast forward to the part of the story where Rachel Miner played tag with my daughter for an hour and a half in the lobby of the hotel and laughed the entire fucking time. This wonderful, magical little sprite was like, oh, this kid and I. And yeah, they played tag, they played hide and seek, they owned that lobby while I sat out there and screamed into the void about trying to get my car to work. So that is also one of my favorite Rachel Miner stories, which the story itself is not that appealing, but the memory is near and dear to my heart. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. Rachel is, I don't have any stories about Rachel, not that you asked for any, but she is, I think out of anybody I've ever met in my entire life, just a spirit embodied. Like, you can't help but get her sparkle on you, literally and figuratively, when you're around her, and she's, I miss her so much. I think I actually, after the last convention, texted her, because when we talk about her, like, you feel when she's not around. And I just saw what you were talking about. I think I just reposted it as well. The Creation just posted that she's going to be joining us now. But she's just literally one of the nicest people. If you have an opportunity to have a meet and greet or a photo or an autograph with her, she will change your life. It will be whatever you invest, it will be a great investment because she's just the greatest person. Anyway, that's all. Tell her about herself. Hi.
Hi. I just had a photo op with you, Kim, a little while ago, and I told you how much I love your new book, and I was just wondering, look, I love a good pixie. I've rocked a pixie many times. I was wondering what inspired you to go ahead and grow your hair out and go blonde.
I was not working at all, and I let my hair go gray. I really liked it. And I wasn't getting any auditions, any jobs, nothing, nada. And so I started letting my hair grow out because I thought maybe that would help. And I sent a picture of it about yay long and said, how's this? Is this gonna work? And the response, I won't tell you who I sent it to, it was not my husband, was, if you want to play grandmas and hags, all right, Noted. Okay. It honestly didn't hurt my feelings because this is a person that we go like, just tell me how it is. Don't waste time worrying about my feelings. And so I was like, okay, fine. What if I color it? So I colored it. I'm just letting it grow. I'm letting it live its best life. I want to see what it's capable of. I want it to feel like it's reached its potential at some point in life. Still no fucking jobs, but God bless, no, I take that back. God bless Bobo. Still no fucking audition, let's put it that way. But Robert Behrens made sure that I had enough money to qualify for health insurance and let me play on Kung Fu. So, thank you, Robert Behrens!
For me as well, Robert Behrens is the one who gave me a job after Supernatural.
Yeah.
If he was really smart, he would have put us on at the same time. But that was too on the nose.
I don't think he could do that. Like, they don't have as much power as we think they have.
I believe it, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that if he could, he would.
Yeah. But it's also because I'm a Gemini and I get bored with my body easily, and growing my hair out is a lot cheaper than getting more tattoos.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Kim, I've watched you since I was 4.
My baby! Oh my gosh, I raised you!
She came out of the womb and she went, change the channel to Sweet Light.
And then, Brianna, when I saw you today, I almost fainted. But I did have a question just
Because I
for you.
farted.
But I wanted to know how you got so deep into Donna and her accent and just the attitude, because, girl.
What? Because what?
Because I loved her from the first episode. I was hoping she would come back. And I just, like, from the moment she just decided, like, fuck it, I'm gonna kill monsters now that I know they're real. I need to know, like, how you got so into that so quickly.
I mean, that was not my choice. That was the writer's choice. I did not go, you know, I know you've written an episode for me, but I've decided Donna's gonna be a badass now. They decided that, and thank God they brought me back. Yes. And that my next episode was with Kim, and that our characters then became partners. There's so much to be grateful for. So little of it has to do with me, and I'm so grateful for this compliment. I, of course, co-created the character with the writers, the directors, the other actors that I worked with. The accent, Donna's accent is so Donna's from Minnesota, and I'm from Canada, and so the accent is not that different. I'm from the middle of Canada. Saskatchewan, which is right above North Dakota. So I just had to lean into that a little harder. I remember when I auditioned, Phil Segretia was the director, and he was very aggressive about doing the accent in the audition. He's like, you have to do the accent. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. I can do it, no problem. He's like, oh, okay. I don't know if anybody else was just like, oh, I can't do it. For me, it was so easy.
That tends to be the universal experience for anyone auditioning, because the same thing with, not with an accent, but like I'm sitting here with a bunch of people that are like, we're not gonna, do we have to, we can't, it's impossible. And the casting director's like, it's Supernatural, and I'm the one that's like, fuck yeah, we are. You know, so Supernatural really is oh no, you're gonna. It isn't like, well, if I book it, I'll bring it on the day. I was like, no, you bring it in the room now.
Right. And who you are in the audition is who they want to show up on set. But I think that what you're asking about is the trajectory of Donna's character, which was so beautifully written and I assume planned out by the writers and producers. And again, so grateful that they could have made Donna a one-trick pony. They could have easily made her just like someone to come in and make everybody laugh. Too many comments about her body. And luckily, they moved away from all of that to make her a full, complex character with like successes at the same time as having grief and choosing herself over a relationship. And finding passion later in her career, new passion. So anyway, I loved playing her, and I'm so grateful to you guys, but also to everybody on Supernatural that helped co-create her.
Hello. So I probably have the most random question for you guys.
Excellent.
So I'm a zookeeper. If you guys were to come visit me at the zoo, what animals would you like to meet?
If we were to be animals at the zoo, what animals would we be? Which ones do you work with?
I work in jaguar jungle and swamp, so jaguars, anteaters, gators. So if you're going to visit me, what would you want to come meet?
I would be a tiger for sure. I do love the tigers.
So my first job when I was in high school was at the Portland Zoo. I worked at the insect zoo, and it was my job to hold the little walking sticks and make sure people knew that they weren't gross and scary. It was also my job to hold the Madagascar hissing cockroaches for the same reason. I failed at that part. Because they're gross and scary. And I was not bit by the tarantula. But, oh, the aminals. You asked me to narrow it down to one. I don't know. I do love the cats. But it's hard for me because I've been to a lot of different zoos. I think you'll understand what I mean. I love the cats when they're taken care of, when they're happy. Because unhappy cats in a zoo makes me very anxious. So that's that. But I'm gonna say the otters. The wolves, but the otters. Because nowadays, here, this is for free advice. So nowadays, most of the enclosures are like glass, and it's part water below and air above. So the clear cap of a bottle is best for this. No, you're gonna get this. So you put it up against the glass, and then you move it around with your finger, and they can see it on there, and they chase it. And so then you can play with the otter, and you can run back, and I can!
That's otters?
I'm sure it works for everyone! Maybe I'm just magical, but I'm sure it fucking works for everyone. If you don't have a bottle cap, a quarter will also work. But you put it up there, and you run it back and forth, and then they tell their friends. So pretty soon, you're the fucking magical Snow White that's getting everybody the photo ops with the otters, and they don't realize that if they just use their own goddamn bottle cap, they can do the same thing. But it's so fun, you can put it up above the thing, and they jump out of the water and try to get it, and they love it, unless they're napping. And then you look like an idiot. Is that consistent with your experience?
Yeah, it's pretty consistent. I also work with otters, so if you want to come meet any, come on.
I love them so much. They don't need me, and I'm okay with that. And they're like goats in that way. They're like, I know they're called water puppies, but I think they're probably water goats. They look like they probably get out of any place that you put them into, and then they look at you like, I didn't want to be in there anymore. I was done.
They're mischievous for half a day, and they sleep the rest of the day.
Right! Yes. That is how I aspire to be. Mischievous or napping. I'm so happy. I love that. Oh my God, Thank you.
Mischievous or napping, the autobiography.
Yes, she's up to mischief. I solemnly swear I am up to no good, or I solemnly swear I'm fucking unconscious.
Hi Bree, hi Kim.
Hi.
I was at your meet and greet in Phoenix this past November. I was with my best friend, Bree. I think she gave you some tip on like putting Jell-O into a cake. I don't know if you remember that.
Jell-O into a cake?
Yeah, you put like Jell-O mix into a cake and it's supposed to help the baking. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Like Jell-O pudding.
Yeah.
It was Jell-O because I knew it was the duo meet and great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, no,
Jell-O like the gelatin?
The gelatin, you put it in a lemon Jell-O cake.
Yes.
Anyone else know about this? Fuck you, you're not from the South.
No.
Shut up, you're all lying.
Kim, what is it?
Put the lemon, you put Jell-O in the cake.
We'll talk about it later.
Anyway,
Yes, I'm invested
That was
now.
me and my best friend, and unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it to this convention. But Kim, at that convention, that was when we both learned that about your autism diagnosis.
Oh yeah.
And my friend has relatively recently realized that like she is also autistic, and so I was wondering if you had any like words of advice for her, like as you kind of figured stuff out about you on your journey.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, you know what, it's not from me. This is from the doctor that I worked with. She said, I hope you give yourself the grace to understand your needs and know they deserve to be met. So that is my, like, it isn't, there's this whole, like, unmasking, and like, if that makes you feel good, great. Masking makes me feel safer, it's how I cope with the world. Like, I don't feel any obligation to be different or change. It's just helpful to understand that in the past, I thought I was doing things wrong for not understanding or not getting it, or not, and then it's just like, I use this a lot. So if you've heard it, I apologize. But it's like I spent the whole life watching all of my friend monkeys climb the tree and like trying to climb the tree and thinking I was a fucking failure. And like some of the monkeys made fun of me, but most of them were very helpful and were like, come on, if you just try hard enough, you can climb the tree. And some of the monkeys sat down there with me and were like, it's okay, I'll stay down here with you. And then somebody finally comes along and is like, you're a fish. Oh. Well, I mean, I understand this analogy stops when you're like, then why didn't you die? I don't know, some of us do. Sorry, ooh, went dark there for a second. Anyway, find yourself some water. You can still go play with the monkeys all you want, but find yourself some water, because baby, you're a fish.
And then the monkeys will come to you.
Yes! And then you can grab them and pull them in and be like, are things uncomfortable now, you fucker?
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you for your answer.
I blame you.
Because I do that. Did I make things awkward? That's my superpower.
It's very on brand, I love it.
Hello.
Hello. First off, I love you both so much. I have a question for Kim. I grew up watching Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, one of my favorite shows. I want to know, what was it like, if you can compare working with Dylan and Cole, two badass little boys, then Jared and Jensen, two badass grown men. What's that like?
Yeah, yeah, because they're such, yeah.
Well, Dylan and Cole had elevators, and Jensen and Jared had little motorcycles.
That is the only difference. At all.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. And I fucking love all four of them to pieces. But, yep.
Thank you. I love you.
You're welcome. I love you. I raised you well. I'm a fan of my work over there. Hi.
Okay, so number one, thank you for making surviving through Sweet Life with my child tolerable. Because you were the only reason I could suffer through that.
Thank you, and I'm so sorry. On behalf of the number of times you had to watch your child practice their handshake, I'm so sorry.
But anyway, I just wanted to thank both of you. Both of your chapters in Lynn's book, Family Doesn't, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Family Doesn't Love meant a lot to me. It changed my life. It kept me alive. And I want to thank both of you for how much of your own personal stories you shared and how much y'all put out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That means a lot. Beg pardon?
I said, I met you in Corpus. We're a cat.
Oh, we're a cat?
We're a cat. We survived.
Oh yeah, we're on life number whatever it is.
Right.
I do want to, so first of all, I love the fact that this book that Lynn has created is still moving and flowing and evoking. I do love the fact that it gave us the opportunity to express on a vulnerable level our truths with you. But I do want to remind you that what you see in this world is a reflection of you. You kept you alive. You are needed here. You are loved, and own the strength that keeps you here, okay? Okay, good. Thank you. You did that, and I'm glad you did. Thank you.
I also, to Kim's point, and you know, to the discussion we're having right now, we surround ourselves with people who we know that we can reach out for, and that is our doing. We know who is going to help us be the best reflection of ourselves. So while you had help, and I have no doubt you did, I also have no doubt that asking for help is a challenge on its own as a woman. But also you were smart, and I assume just lovely enough to have the best people around you that helped you in that way, and you did that, so take the fucking compliment. We're proud of you.
Oh, my dear.
Please excuse my language. How old are you?
I'm 11.
11, sweet, sweet. Well, you've learned some new words today.
Or not.
Jesus, okay.
I got in trouble. Here's hold on a second. A Zach and Cody story. We had a script supervisor who used to get so upset with me when I would swear on set, and she would shake. She tried a tip jar. She tried a swear jar. She tried reporting me to Disney. And she would shake her hand, and then one day I said shit, and she was like, and she looked around for support. And Dylan goes, "We worked with Adam Sandler. We know all the words already."
Very good point. Very good point.
So my question will be a little bit weird. If you were a cat, what breed would you be?
If I were a cat, what breed would I be? Kim, you have to answer this for me, because I only know like colors of cats. I don't know breeds.
That's okay, so that counts. That counts.
I think I would be an orange cat. Fuck yeah. But then I also, tabby cat, orange tabby.
Orange
right?
tabby.
Yeah, I also see myself for zero reasons as the white cats with the black tails and nose and ears with the blue eyes.
Okay. A little white, a little.
But the really puffy one.
Yeah, that's a Persian or a Himalayan.
Okay, great. I'm that.
You're not precious enough. Although they have a little bit of mischievous. What?
No, she's right. She's not precious.
No, she's not precious enough.
She meant like I'm not fragile.
The Persians need a lot of attention to keep from things going sideways.
What do you see me as?
I would see you as a Maine Coon.
Those are those massive cats, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The ones that always look like they've got a joke and they're not going to share it.
I share all my jokes.
Yeah, but like you watch The Room with like, I see you. You think I know, but I see you.
I don't think I've ever seen a Maine Coon in real life. I've seen them on like Instagram.
Oh, they're so great. They're
what
awesome.
What would you be?
I would probably be a rescue tortoiseshell. Oh, did somebody say Chris, is that you? Yeah, I'd be a tortoiseshell. I'd be a tortoiseshell. Because they're like a little torty. They're the ones that are like, they look like patchwork cats. But they're brindle. They're not like, I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, I was like, I need
But they tend to have a very specific personality that's like, everything's
Characters with disabilities or TV shows so I can recommend them to my students.
No.
I mean, there's an amazing, actually, somebody that I'm communicating with on TikTok is going to start an actual publishing. She's going to become a publisher specifically for the disabled community. She is going to be representing disabled authors and looking at material with disabled works. There are places and there are threads on Twitter, and I do tend to trust autistic people to do that. I have had a lot of people be like, what do you think of A Good Doctor? And I'm like, I haven't watched it, I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say, but I don't know. I haven't watched it, even though I've auditioned for it 7 million times, because it shoots in Vancouver. But I don't know within the community if it is an appropriate depiction of somebody with that.
I have so little energy. All of my energy right now goes to goats. I do not, I'm trying to remember, there's gotta be something where, but nothing comes to mind. I'm so sorry. I am not a font of information. I'm also
get back to you.
completely self-involved. I sometimes think I am my own special interest, and so my brain hasn't expanded beyond me to think about other members of my community. Because I'm an asshole. So I'm sorry. Would you like to ask a different question that a non-asshole side of me can answer?
I'm just really trying to find books. I'm a special ed teacher and I teach reading, so I'm just trying to find books that represent the kids that I teach so that I can try and get them to.
Thank you.
How old are those kids?
I work in sixth graders.
Wow. That's awesome. That's very cool. What's that?
I said some days. It depends.
Amen. Life gets lifey, you know? But good for you. It's an important job.
Thank you for that.
Thank
you for understanding that perspective and representation matter, and that our societal norms are not things that fit everybody's experience and shouldn't have to. People shouldn't have to match their experience to societal norms. So I appreciate the fact that your goal is not to be like, fit into the round hole, little square peg, but instead be like, we're gonna find some fucking square peg stories. Yes. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm like completely very nervous and very starstruck right now because you two are amazing women, and I'm another one of those kids that grew up with you, Kim. So like being in the same room with you right now is just like completely blowing my mind.
Thank you for that.
I'm from Minnesota. Like I've been down here for the winter, so I feel like I had to come up and say just be careful with the Donna voice in Minnesota.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've heard many notes about the Donna voice. Yeah, the thing is, there's only so much you can do when you're putting in a voice, because you also get directed a certain way. So you get directed to do more, you do less. As an actor, you're gonna get notes. But the Donna voice changes depending on what the subject of the episode is. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I get shit on because it changes, but I was directed to do that. I don't even know what your comment's gonna be, but when you say be careful about the Donna voice in Minnesota, I totally get it.
Yeah,
Totally.
Because I know you guys, I'm gonna see you guys again in Minnesota this September, and I'm like, every time I like show clips of Donna, because Minnesota does not get a very lot of representation in television. So every time I show clips, they're like, we don't sound like that. I'm like,
I know, but it sounds like we don't sound like that.
It is, you have to think about this. It's like when I come to the States and I say something like, well, we're gonna meet about 9 p.m. People go, ooh, a boot. Like, and I'm like, I don't sound like that. But because we hear so many accents on television, to some people we sound different. You're not wrong. Listen, I'm not trying to like talk you out of your opinion. Point is that to some people from Minnesota have come up to me and been like, that's the best Minnesota accent I've ever heard. And some people are like, if you talk like that, I will cut your throat. So you can't win them all. They can't win them all. And I am never one to like attempt to win them all, because I'm always like, if I'm liked by everybody, then I'm probably not being authentic, right? But Donna, her accent served her and served me so well, and I'm so grateful that I got to do an accent that was actually available to me, very available to me as a Canadian, and was so fun. And I would say to people in Minnesota going, you should have heard the fucking crew try to do Donna's accent, which they did every single time I was on set, and they all sounded Irish.
thank you much. I'm sorry, like, it wasn't criticism, just...
It's all good. No, I love it.
I had to say it just because I am Minnesota.
I get it.
I love that. Fucking don't keep shit in. When you gotta say stuff, let it out. And I love the Castiel cosplay. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. My question's for Kim. I work with children with autism. They're all under the age of 10. I was wondering, is there anything you would have liked to hear at that age that I could maybe take back with me?
Yes, I wish somebody would have told me I was autistic. That would have been awesome. Instead, there was a lot of, you're fine, you're just not trying hard enough. So yeah, I think you said you grew up with autistic kids, or you are around autistic kids?
I teach them.
Okay, so what I would offer is listening to them about them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, the other thing is, I have so much internalized ableism. I have so much like, if you do it this, like this is not my story to tell, but I'm gonna share one piece of it. We just took my daughter off of the, because she's also autistic, off of the diploma track in high school. Because she was unhappy. And quite frankly, when I look at what I want my child to be, would I rather have her be a college graduate, employed, a homeowner, married, with kids, or fucking happy? I want her to be happy. So what I would suggest is listen to your kids about what makes them happy. And if they start from happiness, then everything else is going to go in the right direction. If they start from conformity, they will never achieve happiness. So make sure your goal is support and happiness, and that their opinion about themselves, no matter how they communicate, is the most important opinion about them. That would be my suggestion. Thank you for asking.
I have to completely agree with that. There's nothing like seeing one of the kids in the clinic smile or giggle, even when they literally can't speak.
We can always communicate. Action is communication. There's plenty of alternative communications, like making sure that I don't, because my daughter has communication issues, and I have communication issues. I actually, now I have a word for it, will go nonverbal when my auditory processing is all fucked up. That's why I seem so like fabulous on here. It's because I'm talking and I'm not actually trying to listen to anything. So when they communicate, there is always a presence. It's just the support needs. So allowing them to be the first say in what they are and what they need, as opposed to, I need to give this child this so that they can conform to societal standards. Like a child, for instance, I see a lot, a child who doesn't verbalize doesn't need 80 hours a week of someone going, How about, like, what is your preferred form of communication? Do you want?
As the mother figure from
That's an interesting question. I was clearly the mother figure on Sweet Life because I was their mom. I don't think Jodie was a mother figure. And I know that's contentious. And if you think she is, that's great. What you do with Jodie after I'm done with her is your choice and your freedom. But I think people can be friends and love in ways that aren't necessarily fit a box. Yeah, they don't fit a label. I think Jodie loved Sam and Dean so much and clearly would have given her life for them. But I don't think she was like, and remember to wash behind your ear. I think she was genuinely, she saw herself as an equal, and she saw them as equals. There's a disparity of power in a mother, in a maternal relationship. So I think she cared for them deeply. I do think that she didn't want to fuck either of them, but I think they were really close friends. So that's my, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Next question is, who did Jody want to fuck? Donna.
Donald Trump subject. Who was it, Jody?
It was Donna.
Who was it?
I mean, like, she'd had enough of dudes. After Asa died, she was like, fuck this.
Okay. Kim, you're awesome. I'm married to a Kim, so you got a
Kims are awesome.
My questions for Bree and Jody, or pardon me, for Donna. My wife is a supernatural nut. Obviously, there's
A few of them around here.
But I mean, when we drive back and forth to Minnesota to Florida, where we also have a house, we like, you're on our iPad in the middle, and we're watching every damn episode. I can't even tell you.
So you're also a supernatural nut.
Well, by proxy.
You're supernatural nut adjacent.
Correct. So, but I just wanted to mention that, did you learn terms like, because my wife always says, I'm from California, so originally, and then grew up in Nebraska, and now I'm in Florida. So, but do you say stuff, did you learn terms like hot dish?
Hot dish, yeah.
Oofta,
yeah.
All that. Well, it's funny because when we argue about this, I said, she says, when I say about, she says a boat. When I tell her to say boat, she said boat. And then when I ask her to say water, it's absolutely hysterical. But my question was, when you lean into that character, did you have anybody ever say to you, well, we're not like Fargo, we're not like that? Is that kind of the same?
Yeah, so to the young girl's point is, I get the same thing about Canada, right? It's like there's so many accents in Canada, but everybody assumes that we sound kind of like the Fargo accent.
Are you not talking like the show Grown Ups? Hey ladies, I'm from Saskatchewan.
What?
You've never seen Grown Ups with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
The hot guy dancing in the pool,
Yeah.
And he walks up and he has this like chipmunk voice, and they all laugh at him. Oh, forget it.
Anything?
No, I enjoyed where we were going with this. It's a slight detail. But go back to the part.
And then Adam Sandler.
We're dancing in a chipmunk voice and explain what's going on.
And they all got laid that night, and they're like, "Where's Saskatchewan at? Where's that from?" And it was just kind of funny because the guy that they were imaging in their head had a voice they expected him to be all studly, all deep voice.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. It was a you had to be there moment, but we made you drag that out uncomfortably. I'm sorry, that is my superpower. See, that's what I do. I made it awkward. You had a question for
sorry, we're getting off track here.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the first episode, everything that you heard, oofta, don't you know, or yeah, it was written Y-A-A-A-A. Like it was written O-O-F-T-A. Everything was written, the accent was written into the script. But since then, they stopped writing the accent, and partly, as I was telling the young lady, is that in the more serious, because Donna started out as a comedic character, they wanted me to do a stereotypical accent.
Correct.
When Donna started doing more serious episodes, they wanted me to pull back on the accent because they didn't want it to detract from the story and character.
Right.
Now, in some scenes, like in Wayward Sisters, Bobo did not write any of it in. And he and I had a discussion about giving me the free will to add them in where they were necessary. And then I, of course, made the decision to go, this will be funny, this won't be funny, this is an appropriate time to be funny. Like, what is it when we're in the truck with the binoculars?
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck was it? And that was when he wanted to give me great big binoculars.
He wanted to
give you the tiny little...
Yeah, that's right. And I say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Something like that. I just don't, you guys have to go back and watch it. But yes, no, at that point, I'd been doing Donna for 5-6 years, and so I could find, and I'd researched enough about that accent that I could find the ways to dip in and out of the Minnesota friendly, and when it was appropriate.
It did seem like you got more comfortable with it, or it was more natural.
It became, the accent changed, yeah.
Like comedic and more, you know what I mean? When you
Yeah, and as I'm saying, when we did have comedic scenes, they did want me to push it because the accent is, as lots of accents are, can be comedic on its own.
And one more question.
Yeah, give it.
Everybody loves Baby. I love Baby, right? I've been looking for one actually.
You love what?
Baby the car.
Oh, the car.
Where is
I'm
your
not
truck?
familiar. What? Who?
Where is your truck?
That's what I would like to know. That goddamn Dodge Raptor, I loved it so much.
Yeah, that was bad.
D-Train.
Oh, my favorite, God, I wish we'd had a camera rolling when they were like, now do you think you can drive it?
I'm like, I'm from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. I learned to drive on a big pickup truck.
She's
and
like,
I
can drive a tractor.
Yeah, I was like, back up. But the thing with driving, which you guys probably don't know, is that when you see in a TV show, or movie or TV show, you see somebody pull up in a vehicle and then stop and get out, that vehicle has its own marks. The truck has to hit its own marks, and then you get out as the actor and then also hit your marks.
Yeah, you are.
So the truck, in that one scene where you see in Wayward Sisters, Donna pull up in D-Train, and Claire has already pulled up in her Jeep, fucking poor Catherine Newton had to pull up 17 times in that Jeep because she couldn't get the Jeep to hit the mark. It's not easy. I needed one take. One take. Yes, I love driving that truck, and when we left, they were like, is there anything you want from set? The only thing I asked for was that license plate, and they said no. I was like, what the fuck are you gonna do with it? We're gonna sell it. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for all of the questions. And the information about the Adam Sandler movie. I had no idea. Hello!
Hey, ladies. How are you?
Ray, how are you?
Good. Before my question, I just want to say what would be awesome if they did another supernatural spin-off and actually called Wayward Sisters, and you two girls be the leading stars. That would be
what a great idea!
Continue that story.
Thank you.
How many of these conventions have you been at?
Second one.
All right. They actually did that, and it didn't get picked up.
What?
Are you being funny? Wait, are you being funny? Did you actually not know that?
No, I'm dead serious.
No, I think he was dead serious.
You didn't know?
You didn't know they gave us a show that was called Wayward Sisters?
No, I did not.
Oh,
yeah, they did it. They did it. They did it. I know, this is very uncomfortable for you right now.
Awesome.
No, that is awesome.
It's such a good idea.
It
And he
was
was
such-
like, I have an idea.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
I have an idea.
Yeah. So I'll give you the backstory, Cole's Nose backstory. We, with the fandom, had kind of created a sub-fandom in Supernatural called Wayward Daughters. We had t-shirt campaign. It was all kind of about, yes. This is along with Riley. And it was all about kind of empowerment, finding your chosen family, things like this. Well, it became a very big part of the
You
fandom.
fuckers thought it should be a TV show.
They thought it should be a TV show, and it became such a big deal that producers heard about it, and Phil Segretia, who's somebody I just talked about, who introduced Jody and Donna, packaged the idea of a spin-off of Jody and Donna leading young women, teaching them how to be hunters, and called it Wayward Sisters. Because they couldn't use Wayward Daughters because we're really smart, we trademarked it, or Riley trademarked it. And so they didn't give us a standalone pilot, unfortunately, but we did get what's called a backdoor pilot. So if you go back to season 11? What season? 13, sorry. Season 13, there's 2 episodes which are meant to be the backdoor pilot for what would have been our own spin-off called Wayward Sisters. Kim and I sadly did not quite become the leads that we had envisioned. It was kind of centered a little bit more around the young women. We're obviously all still in it, and it was amazing. It was so amazing to shoot. But yeah, they decided not to pick it up, sadly.
Well, crap, I didn't know that.
I love that though. I thought you were being funny. And I love that it is such a genuinely brilliant idea, and the fact that you were like, this is such a great idea. You had no idea. It still is a testament to how dumb they were for not picking it up. Thank you. Yeah.
But my question really quick, when you started out acting, either in an audition or on set, starting out fresh, what was the most like embarrassing or craziest moment that happened to you, or you were just like, oh?
Okay, so I did 10 years in theater before I ever did television. And this is gonna be a story that 4 of you will get. The rest of you will be like, I'm so glad it's Brianna's turn to talk now. But first, we're gonna start with, it was a Shakespeare show called, called Twelfth Night. Now, Twelfth Night is based on the premise that there has just been a shipwreck, and this bedraggled girl shows up and is like, where the fuck are we? And the ship captain tells her everything she needs to know. It's like, your brother's dead, we're in this country, you're fucked for all these 50 different reasons, I'm out of here. And we were doing a school tour of this at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the gentleman who played the ship's captain had quite a few pops and was still suffering the effects. So when I said, what country, friends, is this? His monologue was, methinks I did spy my brother lashed to the mast. I do remember this country is Illyria. What the fuck? How am I supposed to make up the entire plot of the, it was fucking awful. And he was so apologetic afterwards. Fortunately, we were performing for like 45 high schoolers who were all asleep anyway, so they didn't fucking know. But yeah, that was probably the most like extreme performance story that I have in this world, is somebody being like, I got nothing, and leaving when they were supposed to be the reason for the entire play.
When I was in theater school, so while you're in theater school, often you're like in classes during the day and then performing a show at night. I was performing a show, I think it was called Up on Your Toes, which is an old Rodgers and Hammerstein show. Shout out Rodgers and Hammerstein. And what happened, I am terrible for this, and it's probably why I could never be on Broadway for a long period of time, is that even I did a play called The Humans a few years ago. It was the most challenging piece of theater, oh, thank you, I've ever done in my entire life. And when we opened it, we were all so terrified because the dialogue is very, very tricky. And it was so hard and challenging, but still by the end of the 3-month run, you would be able to recite your lines and still think about the groceries that you have to get on your way home, but you're still talking on stage. You could go on autopilot very easily because you've been doing it over and over and over. Anyway, when I was in theater school, I was a jack monkey, and I could do that, so what I would do is very unprofessional. I would fart around. And so I played this character, I don't remember her name, I think it was Vera, and I was meeting a friend of mine who also, she had a very small role, so she was just always fucking around. And we'd go to shake hands, and every night we would shake hands with something different in our hand. And one night I shook hands with her with a handful of hair gel. And so you're on stage and you have to like keep a straight face, and then the next night she came on, and she had put melted chocolate all in her teeth like this. So anyway, it's not a crazy story, but that was like that was when I was like, oh, I gotta stop doing shenanigans on stage. I never did. It's probably why I don't do theater anymore. But I do these where shenanigans are encouraged. But yeah, theater is the best and the greatest because of how much you can fuck around.
That's awesome, thank you.
Thank you, it's a great question. Thank you so much. So nice. Hello, my love. Hello.
Hi, I love both of you guys. I grew up on Sea Life, but I just wanted no questions for Brianna. Your outfit slays, your hair slays. Where did you get your outfit?
Where did I get my outfit? Okay, well, Zara, I think. Topshop. You guys have that store?
I used to work there.
You did? Old Topshop. This is brand new, so new. This is old. Gucci. Because every once in a while, a girl's got to treat herself. But thank you. I was having this conversation in the meet and greet. We talked a lot about fashion in my meet and greet today. But because I now travel just with a carry-on, I put a lot of thought into my outfits, and I plan them and I try them on and take pictures in them before I pack them, so that I only bring exactly what I'm gonna wear. I've also, after doing these for 8 years, am very aware of what photographs well and what does not. And I really, genuinely, more than you will know, appreciate a compliment. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Lynn. What's up?
I don't have a question. There was nobody else in line.
I'll take it. Bring it.
Here, and thank you, ladies. Number one, for just being yourselves and being encouragement for all of us out here. And Kim, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And for encouraging us to be ourselves, to not hold back, and if you don't like it, fuck it. I don't need you. I don't need to put on a face. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And you know what ends up happening is the more artifice that because like the only reason I ever put this shit on is because I think that's who I need to be for you to love me. And then it's like, oh, but the more I actually take off, that's what was in the way of my heart feeling love. So the more crap that society has told me I'm supposed to wear, that is really just voices in my head telling me whatever the fuck is going on, the more actually we get to connect with each other. So it's good for me too. So thank you. Thank you for being that reflection of me.
Love you.
I love you. Oh, hello.
Hello. First, Kim, my mom really wants me to tell you that she named her new kitten after you in the show, and so it's Jody.
Yay!
I also love that name for a cat.
That's a good cat. That's a good kitten name. Is it a calico?
It is not. It's a short tabby.
Little short tabby. That's very Jody. Jody's definitely a little brown tabby.
So my question is, what's one thing you've changed your mind about over the last year, and why?
Oh, just over the last year. Come out now. Come help us. Come out here. What's one thing that I've changed my mind about over the last year?
There are so many things that I won't get into, but lots of things that I have been educated on politically, like socioeconomically, lots of things that I feel like for so long I was like, I'm young, I don't need to know about this, I don't need to be right all the time. I can just be dumb and make mistakes. And now I'm like at an age where I'm like, no, I kind of want to know the right answer, where the most people in the world feel the most comfortable most of the time. Not all the time, I do believe that that's impossible, but if you do your best and try to make most people educated and feel comfortable, that's good. But it's too many things to name specifically.
And I have changed my mind about thinking that sometimes you can love a rooster into liking you.
Yes, right.
Sometimes roosters are just dicks.
I want to take this one question. Is that okay? Just because.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hi. What's the little one's name?
Daniela.
Daniela, do you want to come? Do you want to come to me? Do you want to come to my arms? Here, Daniela.
Daniela's like, I have never seen a more terrifying thing in my life.
You cannot love a Daniela into liking you.
No, it's fine. I'm obsessed with children, so it's fine. Not obsessed enough to have another one, but you know. What's your question, honey?
My question is, out of all the characters from Supernatural, which one did you hate that they killed off?
Charlie.
Yeah.
Her answer is
because so her answer is Charlie. I agree with that, and since that is her answer, my answer is Bobby.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Solid work. Excellent question. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Brianna Buckmaster and Kim Rhotes. So I have an announcement for you guys. Remember earlier in the day I told you that if you were handed something strange, that you should hold on to it. And sometimes with those strange things you were given instructions, which may or may not have involved some social media. One of those things